So make sure you have a little bit of room. Today, what we're going through is we're going to do a movement break that's focused on if you tend to slouch. So if you tend to have a forward head and your shoulders are coming in and together, um, that can be quite uncomfortable if you're in that position over a long period of time. If you're experiencing like real pain, agony, misery, definitely see a physical therapist, get some one-on-one help. But if you're just like, oh, I notice I'm tending towards this direction, this could be a nice way to open up. Some of what we're doing is stretching and strengthening, and some of what we're doing is sort of retraining some muscle recruitment. So, to get started, what happens is the muscles across the front of the body, the sternocleidomastoid, the pecs, even latissimus dorsi can get really tight. Doesn't mean that it's necessarily strong, but it gets really tight and it's pulling you forward. And then the muscles across your back, and there are a whole slew of them, are in this elongated position. Sometimes they just don't recruit correctly to help pull you upright. So that's really what we're working on today. Um, and we're going to get started off with some of the strengthening, the practicing the correct muscle recruitment to get us warmed up and ready to go. So, first thing we're going to do is I'm going to be standing here with my palms facing up and thumbs pointing out to the sides. And then I'm going to bring my thumbs apart. You'll notice my shoulders are down, my ears are stacked right on top of the shoulders. So I have a really nice long and tall posture. If I have a tendency towards slouching, I'm trying to correct that by just standing up really nice and tall. And then I'm going to bring my palms apart. Elbows are still tucked in close to the sides here, as close as they go on your body. And I'm at what feels like the end of my range of motion right now. From here, I'm actually going to try and squeeze my thumbs back a little bit further by drawing my shoulder blades in together. So shoulder blades are coming in together, and that is automatically bringing my thumbs behind me. And then I take the pressure off. I'm still at the end of my range of motion, or what feels like the end of my range of motion. And then I'm squeezing my thumbs back. So you might notice that your shoulders actually move back a little bit as your shoulder blades pull in. And it should be kind of that feeling of trying to pinch a penny with your shoulder blades, or even trying to tuck your shoulder blades in your opposite back pocket. Sometimes this can be really difficult to feel. You know, if you've been in slouchy kind of positions for a long time, it can be really difficult to actually connect with those muscles and feel that they are engaging in the way that I'm describing. So try and stick with it. It can take a little bit of time to actually get there. All right. So now we're going to switch positions, and we're going to go for a T position here. I'm still bringing my shoulder blades in together. I'm just altering the arm position a little bit. Still going to have a nice long, tall body position. So my arms are straight out to the sides, and I'm going to pulse my thumbs behind me. Check in with your shoulders, make sure they're staying down. Check in and make sure that your head isn't drifting forward. And as I'm doing this, I am trying to keep my chest open as well. So if you notice your shoulders coming in together and then your hands are coming back, try and reset. So I'm rolling my shoulders down and back, long and tall, like somebody has one of my hairs and they're pulling me straight up. And then I'm trying to draw my thumbs behind me, my shoulder blades in towards each other as I keep going. All right, now this has been a lot of fun, but we're going to move on to the next position, which is this Y position. Hands coming up. That's sort of a diagonal. And here I'm really aiming to bring my shoulder blades together, but also down. So that definitely that opposite back pocket kind of a feeling with your shoulder blades here. Checking in with your head position. I am a world-renowned sloucher. So I can feel my head wanting to drift forward. If you're in the same boat as me, you may be feeling that as well. And then just up to this eye position. And I'm going to be pulsing my thumbs back behind me. You will notice here that my shoulders are still down. So even though my arms come up, I don't let my shoulders come up. I keep them down. And right now my palms are actually facing each other. If you could see. Beautiful. Now here, if your lats are tight, you might be restricted. You might be at more of an angle trying to bring your thumbs back. That's okay. We're all learning and striving towards that upright position. But we do have a really glorious stretch coming up next. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my right arm up, going to bend at the elbow, and I'm going to do a really nice lat stretch by then holding onto my right elbow with my left hand and reaching down the back my right hand. The left hand is just here to help me into the position a little bit more. Get that good big old morning stretch kind of a feeling. And if you want to add a little extra, you can tip to the side. I'm tipping to my left right now. I would encourage you not to rotate forward. Try and stay between two panes of glass here. So I've got a pane of glass here, pane of glass behind me. Take one more deep breath here. And exhale. And we're going to switch sides. So now I'm reaching up with my left arm, bending at the left elbow, and using my right hand to help myself into the stretch as I reach down my back with my left hand. This should feel really good. And if it doesn't, and there's another stretch that you'd like to substitute with, go for it. This is about refreshing yourself. Nice. So take one last deep breath here. If you tipped on the other side, go ahead and get a little bit of a lateral bend here. That can intensify things in a really good way, or it can be too much. And so it's important to follow what your body's telling you. Love it. All right, we're going to bring arms down to the side. Take a couple of shoulder rolls just to shake it out. And then we're going to do a little bit of a pec stretch. So your pecs are up here, and they aren't just like chicken nuggets that sit on top of your hair. They're right there attaching to your shoulders. They're connected to other things. So if you're doing this pec stretch and you're starting to get some nervy feelings, go in a little bit slowly. Now, today we're going to hold on to any solid object. It could be the wall, a desk, anything. And then I'm going to get my stretch in by leaning away. So if I'm holding onto this table with my right hand, I'm going to drop my right shoulder away from my ear, and I'm going to lean forward and a little bit to the right to get that really good stretch. If you happen to be lucky enough to have a wall, you can choose different angles much more easily. So while you guys are stretching your right pec, I'll show you what this would look like with a wall or a door. I could easily do the lower angle. I could do a mid angle here, and then I could do an upper angle. So that can be really nice as you're going through just to get the different angles. Let's go ahead and switch sides. So I'm going to show the left side now from the side, and I'm going to hold on to my solid table here, and I'm going to lean forward and then lean in towards the wall. So lean in towards the left. And as I do this, I am consciously opening through my chest. So if I want to reach behind me with the right hand to help with that feeling of opening, That's great. I don't have to, but I can. And if you notice that left shoulder wants to internally rotate, like roll in towards the center, try and roll it open and then lean into the stretch. One last deep breath here. Nice. And then back out of the stretch. Take a little moment to wiggle it out. Check in with yourself, see how everything's feeling. This could be a big change for you, or it could feel awesome. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hold our chest in this sort of open position while we do a little bit of neck stretching. So to make sure that we're staying open, you could reach behind yourself, you could clasp your hands, and then draw the knuckles down here. And I'm just going to start off by taking a really deep breath in this position. And then I'm going to go for the neck stretch. So if I'm going after my sternocleidomastoid, which literally connects your chest up to your jaw here, I'm going to draw my head back in space a little bit. And then I'm going to lean to the left slightly. I'm going to look up a little bit. And I can play with a few angles here if it helps, but I'm essentially bringing my head back to the left to get a nice stretch through the front right side of my neck. One more breath here. Beautiful. Back up to center. If you need to relax out of it, take a little counter stretch and come back. Go for it. Otherwise, find that arm position that allowed you to have a nice open, long, tall posture. And then we'll stretch the left side. So right ear towards right shoulder. And then looking up at the ceiling. If it's more comfortable for you to keep moving, go for it. But we are aiming to stretch the front and left side of the neck here. So explore your angles, find that stretch. One thing to note is that if I'm stretching my neck and I'm looking up, I'm not flopping the back of my head onto my upper traps or shoulders here. I am going up rather than just flopping back. So I'm going up and back rather than flopping. Almost like there's an invisible pool noodle behind my neck, and it's just preventing me from ever flopping my head back. Beautiful. Come on out of the position. Now, as we're doing this, you might feel some odd kinks, feel some new feelings. So I want you to assess how you're feeling right now and then do one thing for yourself. I feel like my mid and lower trapezius are massively engaged right now in a way that they aren't usually. So I'm just going to take a little cat-cow, a little essentially wiggle break for that part of my body to help shake out that tension that's feeling maybe a little bit excessive. So with my little table over here, I'm going to arch my back, thinking about the mid and lower trapezius area, so the area around my shoulder blades. And then I'm going to round. And I'm just going to go back and forth a few times as it feels good. Lovely. That's our 15 minutes. I encourage you to end with just a deep breath, any sort of deep breath for yourself. On the exhale, let it all go. and I hope you have a fantastic afternoon. Take care, everybody.